Entry number 9. Just a little. Just a little longer. I'm almost.
So he's building Sarah. It was a week later. I simply could not let Sid be and decided to head back into Lab 9. It was then...
Albus.
Was your voice something like this? Sir Albus, we have an emergency. Vothel, need you. What's wrong? You're not need you at all. You look aghast.
Sid activated Lab 9's emergency.
Sorry.
Sid activated Lab 9's emergency protocol.
You what?
Oh, the backup mana lines have been cut.
That's absurd. The emergency protocol fills the entire lab with colored mana. If a living human being was in there, he'd...
Do you think Sid's trying to commit suicide?
Vothel, get Rudo here, now. Kirky, come with me. We need to find a way to stop the protocol.
Yes, sir.
Of all interruptions. So, how much time has passed since activation? Rudo! I hear the backup mana lines have all been severed. Is there any valuable equipment inside? Who cares? Sid is still in there. He is? So he is. Oh well. Let's get a doctor on standby just in case. I swear, I'm already pressed for time as it is. I don't have time to deal with funeral arrangements. Ugh. How dare you? Why do you look so exasperated, Albus? Sid Shevitz died a long, long time ago. All that's left in there is the deranged hollow shell that's remained of him. Enough, Rudo. If he died doing whatever it is he wanted doing, then good for him. Shut up. How dare you speak like that about your father? Is that how you address the person who gave you life? Sir Rudo, Albus, the door's opening. It seems like the cleansing's finished. I found Sid's body inside the lab. He died from acute mana shock due to the sudden influx of colored mana, just as Rune had. Sid, what were you trying to accomplish here? In the entire company, Lab 9 was packed with the most expensive equipment. Among the equipment there were some sensitive instruments that constantly had to have mana flowing through them, otherwise they would break down.
Kirky, lend me a hand. We need to restore the lines. We can't see a thing in this darkness.
It actually looks pretty bright.
Understood.
It was when Kirky and Vothel reconnected the backup mana lines, which Sid had disconnected, that we discovered...
What?
Time froze. What lay beside Sid's corpse was... Rune. Right. I don't believe it.
What is this?
Is that a new sister prototype? Chapter 6 Bash.
No, that's impossible. She's got to be human, right? Clearly.
No, there's no mistaking it. There doesn't seem to be a pulse, and I can see the irises and the cameras in its eyes.
It moved.
All right, who activated it?
We didn't even touch it. It just started moving on its own.
Awkward.
Can you talk? Do you have a voice feature?
Hello, world!
It seems to be the type that can speak. Do you have a name?
Name? What is a name? It looks like there wasn't any basic information loaded in.
A name is a term that serves as an identifier for oneself. My name is Vothel, this guy's Kirky. He's Albus, and that man over there is Rudo.
Rudo?
Oh, it seems to recognize Rudo's face.
Rudo? Brother? Must be some kind of mistake. You don't have any name, right? Name? Something that serves as my identifier. I cannot remember. But I remember being called by something a long time ago. Then from now on, you're Sarah. Remember that. The project's file's title, how arbitrary. Sarah? Indeed, if you are asked by anyone, then you are to introduce yourself as Sarah. That's an order. Understood.
Is this going to be deployed at the church? The church? It's something that happened before you joined the company. Before, when both Sid and his wife were still alive, there was an agreement that we would create sisters who looked just like humans for the Abbey. They would take care of the victims of Ivez's operations. But ultimately, we weren't able to create any sisters to the standards of quality that they demanded. They said that even though they looked human externally, they were lacking on the inside. Damn it, Dad, what were you even thinking? He made his daughter. It was later discovered that Sid had falsified financial records without the accountants knowing. He had laundered vast sums of money to develop a new prototype sister. Did Sid not leave even a single memo on this? All of the documents on the manware and software in the terminals and equipment have all been purged because of the emergency protocol. And his planner? Sid always carried a planner around with him, making sure to take notes on everything. About that, it's been burned to a crisp. Burned? That's not all. Every single document Sid's kept here for the last 2-3 years were all burned. Seeing how all of his notes and documents have been destroyed so exactingly, he must have intentionally gotten rid of it all. But then why would Sir Sid have kept working to create that system prototype up until his death? I've already told you about this. He was frustrated with the greatest failure in Shevitz Enterprises' history. When we partnered with the church, he promised the abbot that he would make a sister that would be no different than a human being. But ultimately, we just couldn't deliver on that. I'm sure he wanted to put the final nail on the coffin on that before he died. Sid must have wanted to finish his greatest failure in life, the Sisters Project. God damn, when I gave you your voice, I was sure as hell hoping you would not show up again. No, that couldn't be it. What makes you say that? If he wanted to create the sisters for the church's use, then he would have truly have met his goal if they could produce. Then wouldn't he truly have met his goal if they could be produced en masse? But he intentionally burned all of his notes and documentation to prevent that. I told you, he wasn't thinking about mass production or even the company itself. He must have wanted to settle his personal conflict with himself. Otherwise, why would he have felt the need to steal funding from his own company? But still, what is the meaning in destroying all of his documents? There must have been some other driving force behind it. He wanted to rebuild his daughter. Gentlemen, you are sorely mistaken about the problem at hand. Whatever my father was thinking, there is no way for us to ever understand it. To question the motives of a madman, the mere act is another waste of time. Alright, Albus, we don't have the time to waste on foolish things like this. The amount of money that Sid has illegally channeled into this project of his is enormous. I'm sure there will be a meeting with the board of the directors about whether or not this new sister prototype justified its cost. I must go to make preparations for that. Please return to your respective workstations, everyone. Yes, you're right. It's rather hard to swallow all this right now, but I understand. I need to recompose my thoughts. Once the date of the meeting is set, please let me know.
Rudo, we need to talk. I hope this isn't more useless banter, Albus. Enough. Rudo, look at that model of sister. Doesn't anyone come to mind? Look. It's clearly Rune right there. Right, and you thought I didn't notice it either. Then why didn't you say anything about that? Because it's a matter of trivial importance. So what if she looks like Rune? The minor detail has no bearing on our current situation. Well, there is something I'm now certain of, which is Sid Shevitz was truly ill. While still bitter about the loss of his daughter, he was infatuated with pretending that he could bring her back to life. How disgraceful. Sid Shevitz, the renowned scientist of the era, certainly has fallen far. Well now, it goes without saying that the issue at hand is the numbers, our finances. I believe it is best we not discuss this with anyone else. I don't want to cause any additional causes for us concern for the board of directors. That, and only that point, do I agree with you. I sincerely hope that this thing has enough value to warrant its construction. Albus, please start preparing for the meeting as well. Damn, Rudo, why so cold? Oh, hey, Rune.
I am against this. Look at it. Look at Sarah's mannerisms. Tell me, have you ever encountered a machine that could possibly respond this naturally, this humanly? Regardless of Sid's psychological instability, the sister is still the work of a genius, the work which he put his entire life into. Until we can understand the origins behind its construction, I believe that we need to continue observing it.
It's almost disgusting the way it looks so realistic. As if it really were a human. Poor Sarah. Why? What's with that expression on your face? Is it some kind of function to upset people on purpose?
No, I apologize. It's as if it has emotions as well. This has to have been a sister for the church's use. For it to have emotions recreated this well, it has to be a model of sister created for its original purpose, no doubt about it.
Hard impossible. We need to scrap this or get rid of it as soon as possible. Despite that small frame, it possesses the strength of 10 men. If it decides to rebel against us, then who knows what could happen.
Refusing to listen to other people's opinions as always, I see. Always screaming, no, no, and you still call yourself an adult?
I was asked for my opinion and I gave it. And I believe the same goes for you regardless of how you choose to view it.
To be honest, this scares me. I cannot in good faith agree with letting a machine whose thought processes we don't even understand loose anywhere near us.
I don't think those fears are really justified. Sarah can speak perfectly well and is able to understand what we are saying. You only have to approach it to understand that it is not something dangerous. Besides, Sid couldn't have built something intended to be harmful to others.
Considering Sid's mental state at the time, I find the assertion rather hard to believe.
All this aside, everyone please. Have you all forgotten about the money that was poured into making Sarah in the first place? Was it just created to serve some kind of trophy to be put into a goldfish bowl of some sort? If that was created as a mere pet project, then I refuse to stand for this. We need to do something right now to mitigate our losses. But if we don't have any time to observe her, then... It looks like we need to take a vote on this matter. This is where they vote to get rid of... Oh, by majority voters decided to observe Sarah. In the few weeks since then, Sarah slowly formed memories and a personality began to emerge. At first, she spoke very curtly and did only what she was told, but as time went on, she slowly became more and more human-like, to the point that other people wouldn't even notice that she was a machine. Although there were many skeptics among the board of directors, they all eventually accepted the fact that Sarah was something special. Soon after, she was placed in a field test to work the Manid mines temporarily under my supervision.
Wow, there's so many first generations models of the sisters here, Albus.
About 90% of those working here in the mines are sisters that we built, in fact.
Good morning, everyone. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
All the sisters here don't speak. They're all purpose-built miners, so they don't have any excess functions.
I see. It's going to be a little lonely.
Do you really think that?
Excuse me?
Does that really make you feel lonely?
Oh, well, I wonder. Why did I think it would be lonely? I'm not sure if feel is the right word either. The first thing that came to mind was that I would be lonely.
She has emotions! Sarah worked diligently at its job. However, when compared to the sisters designed specifically for work in the mines, its results were nothing spectacular. Ultimately, it was determined that Sarah was not designed for mining work. And at the very least, we had determined that Sarah had no particular abilities apart from bearing incredible likeness to humans. It seems that its memories are constantly growing day by day. I have absolutely no idea just how it's built. Then shall we dismantle it and find out? If you wish to know what makes it tick, then that's the fastest way to do so. I can't do that. If we dismantle it, then we'd be unable to reassemble it. That's the consensus of all the members of Lab 9's members. The board of directors wouldn't ever let us dismantle it, given our current level of technology.
Excuse me.
What is it?
I don't think my name is Sarah.
What?
I don't quite remember very well, but I think a long time ago, Rune used to be my name.
Oh. Do you mean...
And you're Rudo, my brother.
Sarah, between your imperfect faulty memory or what we say, which do you think is more credible? Everything in those so-called memories of yours, it's all a veil, a lie, a sham. All of that was implanted by your creator, Sid Jevitz, as some kind of sick joke. Don't ever utter the name Rune again. That's an order.
Understood.
Ever since Sarah's confession, Rudo's attitude toward her completely changed. Why does Sarah have Rune's memories inside of her? Did Sid actually intend to bring Rune back to life like this? Yes! Calling herself Rune. Behaving like Rune. Something as simple as that would have been child's play for Sid. But that isn't Rune. That would have been nothing but a fake, created copy of Rune. Just what was Sid thinking? He wanted to build an actual version of her that wasn't so horrible. There are no merits to this.
That is not true at all. Sid's original plan for these sisters was to introduce them to the church and let them take care of the patients. As proof of that, I brought Sarah to the abbot the other day. Not once during the entire time we were there did he realize that Sarah is a machine.
And despite all that, they still gave us their disapproval. Honestly, it's just disgusting. There isn't a man alive who'd ever feel comfortable around that bucket of bolts. Can't even tell when it's around or not because it doesn't look alive. Just look at that face. Who knows what's going on in its head? I wholeheartedly agree with you. Even if, as the members of Lab 9 all so passionately assert, that Sarah has the mana mechanisms to mimic emotion, what merit is there in being able to reproduce that function? I'd love to hear some concrete, useful applications of this.
Well,
The fact that the church has denied the proposal means that there will be another hurdle to jump when it comes to using them in Jevitz Medica. If we continue to shove this new model of sister down their throats, then we would be sowing necessary discord between us and the people with whom we've worked so hard to partner with. We will not use it in Medica, nor will we use it in the church. In other words, there are no merits to mass-producing these.
Rudo, why are you so stubborn about this? I wouldn't have expected that opinion from you.
She may be the one and only automaton built in this entire world has been built and equipped with a so-called emotional mechanism. If Sid were able to create something like that, then who knows what other mana-power inventions lie ahead. Just what is a person? What is the conscious? What are emotions? This may lead to huge discoveries about the very philosophies of humans themselves. Certainly mass production may be out of the question, but does that mean we can just disregard her entirely?
I too refuse to change my opinions on this. Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. At the very least, I believe that it's far too early to scrap her.
And here we are back to square one.
Albus, what do you think of all this?
I think that it is far too early to dismantle her as well. While the systems running inside her certainly piqued my interest, I can't even begin to understand what Sid's intentions were. I'm slowly beginning to think that Sid wasn't entirely mad when he created Sarah.
Not quite the answer I was expecting, but that means you're also opposed to their dismantling, yes?
Very well. We shall continue to observe it. See you all tomorrow.
When does she get a jab?
Excuse me, Albus?
Sarah? What are you doing out at this hour? Have you completed your tasks for the day?
Just a short while ago, actually.
I see, which means you're off the clock now.
May I have a moment to speak with you?
Why the formality all of a sudden?
Well, just what am I?
That's quite the frank question.
Am I, on the inside at least, really?
Don't worry, Rudo won't know a word of this. Speak your mind.
Well, I was created just 2 years ago, right?
You were?
It's strange. Inside me are what seems to be childhood memories. They stretch all the way back to years and years ago, but I was just created only recently, so that can't be true.
Runes, memories.
Albus, what am I? Am I a machine that was just born to be a tool? If that's the case, then why was I born with these memories?
I have no idea. And as for just what those memories are inside of you, the only person who can answer that question is no longer on this world.
That's Sid, right?
Correct.
Was Sid Jevitz an integral part of your life, Albus?
Yes, he was my best friend. We were practically like brothers ever since we were children.
Does Rudo take issue with the fact that I have these memories?
Well, they certainly don't put him in a good mood, that's for sure.
That's putting it lightly.
Sarah, let me just give you one word of advice, okay?
Okay.
Do not ever cause any trouble. I'll be frank with you. Rudo has been wanting to dispose of you under the guise of dismantlement. He will find even the slightest excuse to do so, regardless of how minor or trivial the reason is.
Is that because of the memories inside me?
That's right. Look, Sarah, I want you to listen carefully. If and only if you are about to do something wrong, consider that you are betting your entire being on the line. Do it with the resolve that will be the end of everything.
My entire being?
That's right, you seem to have an ego, a proper sense of self-identity. There will come a time for you to assert that sense of self, I'm sure of it.
Myself? But am I not the property of Jevitz Enterprise? If that's the case, then I shouldn't have the right to bet myself, do I?
If only you weren't just a machine. This is important. You'll come to understand someday or another.
You're both.
Another year passed. Lab 9 was able to produce 3 new prototypes using Sarah as their model. However, not a single one operated as well as Sid's own creation. There was clearly something fundamentally different about Sarah. Far too much time had passed with us not knowing what it really was. The board of directors had been split between those who wanted to observe and those who wanted to dismantle Sarah. Some members switched from observe to dismantle. This was about a month ago. With that, Sarah's dismantlement seemed all the more reality. As the days went on, Sarah's intellect grew rapidly. Using her own methods to measure and improve efficiency in both the mines and the routine work in residential areas, she began to finish her tasks ahead of everyone else. That kind of work ethic and behavior was just like Rune's. Exactly like Rune's. From there, more and more people began to develop a disgust for Sarah's very existence. I think it was because she's too different. There was something about her existence that just triggered something in you instinctually, just like Rune did. A great deal of people began to consider her as a threat subconsciously. The one who'd been most affected by this was none other than Rudo himself. Rudo! Is it true? Did you erase Sarah's memories? It seems like access to Sarah's brain is protected by several levels of security. Vothel, Nietzsche, and Kirky managed to find a way to bypass the first level. I'm not asking you to explain how. I'm asking you why you erased her memories. All of the experience, the information, the knowledge she's accumulated. Albus, you should have realized this by now. It seems that Sid succeeded in recreating Rune's memories quite faithfully in Sarah. How he managed to do so, I have no idea. The way she moves and acts, they're all very reminiscent of Rune's own behavior. And what does that have to do with why you erased her? What does that have to do with it, you ask? Plenty. If, by some chance, even some small portion of Rune's own personality exists within Sarah, then there could be no greater threat. I'm sure you're fully aware of how dangerous Rune was. Yes. But... I mean, he has a point. I'd like to hear an explanation for all of this. To enlighten me as to why things have turned out this way.
I'm sorry, sir. I honestly have no clue. Theoretically, all of our methods should be working. Do you know what your name is?
Yes. My name is Sarah. It was given to me by you, Rudo.
Looks like it's not working. That's strange. We're doing the erasure procedure by the book. There shouldn't be anything wrong with it. Sir Rudo, this is just a guess, but we probably need the highest level of access privilege in order to erase the memories inside Sarah's core. We can't do anything with only our mana signature.
What about purging its internal mana altogether?
If we did that, it would likely cease to function. That's not just a likelihood. It'll completely and utterly shut down. It'll be as good as scrap. Dismantling it would be the least of our concerns. Sir Sid, I'm honestly not sure as to why all these complex safeguards were put in place.
Precisely so that Rudo wouldn't try and do this.
It's almost as if
he's making sure that no one could ever tamper with it.
Indeed.
Damn.
What should I?
If your memories haven't been erased, then you ought to know already. Go back to work. Leave. Sir, what's wrong at this time of night? You guys have a habit of meeting out here, don't you?
Albus, you said that Sid was your best friend and an integral part of your life, right?
What brought this on all of a sudden?
Friends are important, right?
Well, of course they are. There isn't anyone more important in your life than your family and friends.
Thank you.
Was this when she'd met them? Sarah, yeah. Why, of all the times for you to cause trouble, why at this critical point? You knew that there's going to be a votation regarding you 4 days from now.
I remembered the advice you gave me a long time ago.
Advice? What is it at this time? I swear, another emergency summons. So we just randomly skipped ahead, like up to modern day, I guess. Oh, Sarah, what? You don't even know how to greet someone.
Good afternoon, Mr. Crowleys.
This was really nothing but a defective piece of junk. Heard you even stole sediment at the mines earlier. What an absolute waste. We really should have just have dismantled you as soon as possible.
I apologize.
Discussing that matter is exactly why we have gathered here today. Please reserve your arguments for until the other members have come. And just how many do you even expect to come? 4? You academics in your rivalry tower may not know, but the other members of the board of directors are already speaking as if dismantlement has been assured. You ought to be grateful that I've even bothered to go to the effort of attending this meeting to confirm all this.
Gee, thanks, buddy. Scene transition? Oh! Finally, we're back! I haven't seen you guys in forever, Sarah. So that's how it is. I finally understand. You don't seem to quite grasp. This entire series of events has truly been bizarre. What Sarah is exactly, yes?
Indeed. However, I absolutely do not want to see her dismantled. Something inside me tells me so. Tomorrow, her dismantlement will be decided upon. I must come up with a way to protect her from that after our meeting.
Is that even possible? Isn't the board of directors or something going to determine that by majority vote?
If Rudo for some reason changes his mind, then I'm sure the direction of the entire meeting will change as well. There are many members who don't really have an opinion and will simply go along with whatever he decides.
Albus?
Yes?
Please let me meet with Rudo.
I was actually thinking the same thing. But I'm sure you'd already known that, right?
Correct. Albus's suggestion? We perform a mind dive on Sarah. If we did that, then we can find out Sarah's real identity. Is that going to work? Does it work if they don't have actual biological brains? However, when it came to Selphine's desire to perform the mind dive, it's alright, Ratona. I'm sure he'll understand. Selphine had her own plan, which she only kept only to herself. Even I was unaware of what she had in mind. She's going to mind dive into Rudo and get him to understand. With only a lingering trace of doubt we head over to Lab 9 where Rudo was. Chapter 7, The Measure of a Girl.